What's going on, motivators? We got another video. We got to talk about California with another rigging scheme. Let's get into this.
Pave the way for tax-paying non-citizens to vote in local elections. It could end up on the ballot in November, but the measure is facing some opposition.
And CBS LA's Joy Benedict was in North Hollywood today and asked voters what they think about that proposal.
For me, this is a simple issue of fairness.
LA City Council member Hugo Soto Martinez speaking out.
How can you say a simple issue of fairness? They're not even citizens. How could you go ahead and say it's fair for people who come into the country, non-citizens, to be voting? If we go overseas right now, none of us could vote in anybody's election. What is wrong with those people that we elect into government? I feel like we're taking a step backwards. The founders were very young when they created the Constitution. We got people older, but they're dumber. Like, what's going on in the United States? Especially California, leading the way with a cuckoo-ness.
Thursday about his new proposal to allow non-citizen voting in local elections.
I believe they deserve a voice in the city they helped build.
This coming one day after he proposed the change in the city's charter, sparking support and criticism.
I'm not sure. I mean, I realize in local elections they are affected by the vote. I do think that voting is an aspect of citizenship.
Voters in North.
Simple. If you're not a citizen, you cannot vote. Do we understand what Pandora's box we are opening right now? By making this happen in any other states, so some states pushing for this too, Democrat states, that means anybody could vote. Because it's never going to stop in the local election. It's going to go into a general, it's going to go to primary, it's going to go to everything. What's the point of having an election then if anybody could vote? Make those things make sense. People outside the U.S. could now vote on any election that we have because those people don't understand what they're doing. A simple box you just open and allowing non-citizens to vote going against the Constitution, there will be big ramification into that. Point being, it goes against the Constitution. Democrats don't give two craps about the Constitution. They cry all the time, it's Republican, but it's Democrats who hates the Constitution. Anything that gives less of a power to them or has the balance of power, they want to break it so that they could create their own will.
Hollywood with differing opinions on what could be something to vote on come November.
Honestly, I feel like it should definitely happen. I mean, I don't really see a problem with that.
If people had been living in a place and contributing to whatever was going on there for a number of years, absolutely, why wouldn't they want to stay in that situation?
And that
we are failing the youth. We are failing everybody. I'll show you the video of people cannot read anymore. People are just getting dumber and dumber by the years. He doesn't see an issue with it. Then why vote, period? Why have rules?
Of the total number of ballots coming into the ROV. An audit of those logs received from the Riverside County Registrar of Voters allegedly shows 611,428 ballots were cast, but 657,322 votes were reported and certified to the Secretary of State. That is a difference of 45,896 votes. The response from the Registrar of Voters was that it did not rely on logs and that it is a machine count that reflects a much smaller deviation that he chalks up to acceptable human error. I hope we can all agree there is no acceptable error, small or large, in our elections, let alone a 45,000 vote difference. Our investigation,
let alone illegal people voting in the voting system. Non-citizens should not vote, period.
will determine the validity of that alleged discrepancy, and if found true, we will determine the cause. We will do that by physically counting the ballots. This is not a recount to determine how many votes were for or against Prop 50. Several weeks ago, I was contacted by a representative of Attorney General Bonta and asked to halt this investigation until after March 6th. No reason was provided, and there is no legal justification for the Attorney General to stop a lawful investigation. As a side, I also had intimate knowledge of the significance of that date. On February 26th and again on March 4th, my office received a letter from AG Bonta directing a halt to this investigation.
All right, I play this video for one purpose. I believe the Democrats know they're getting caught for cheating. So now they're trying to find other ways to amend the cheating, right? With the fraud they've been doing. Let's create a legislation that could now amend and allow them to vote so that it notified what's going on. These people are cheaters. Why would you be in the United States and want non-citizens to vote? We have to be careful and remember what they're saying. When they say it, you have to believe them. Now they're coming out right and saying that they want it to happen because it's been happening already. Now they're getting caught. So they're coming in with it boisterously and saying, let's create some legislation to make it happen. Democrats have been lying to you. Right now, they're trying to bring down the United States. That's all this is.
Council member and people who oppose the plan. Rob.
Yeah, Hugo Soto Martinez is hoping the upcoming November election could bring LA closer to letting non-citizens vote. It would only be in LA city elections, and he says it would most likely be years down the road if the council moves it forward. But the mere mention of it is drawing strong criticism.
Again, don't listen to what Democrats are saying. Years, all it is that they never stop. Once it's implemented word is if you set a precedent. Once it's implemented, you have now set a precedent and you can't take it back. And they're going to keep adding on to this nonstop. Do not vote for this thing.
As the Trump administration rages about an unproven wave of illegal voters, one LA City Council member is hoping to make more potential voters legal.
Good morning, everyone. Buenos dias.
District 13 Councilman Hugo Soto Martinez wants non-citizen residents of Los Angeles to be able to vote in citywide elections.
We have folks living in this country who've been here 20 years. They've started a family. They pay their taxes. Many of them are homeowners, but they don't have a say over the policies that affect their children and their families on any given day. I know other cities have done it for local elections, but I want to see where the appetite is for this council.
That appetite leaving a bad taste in some mouths.
It just strikes people as fundamentally wrong.
Ira Melman is with the Federation for American Immigration Reform, FAIR. He says voting is a privilege and a right for citizens, and that non-citizen voting would go against what the Founding Fathers wanted.
The preamble to the Constitution.
And that is what they keep doing over and over again. You have to come to the United States fairly through the front door. Don't worry about it, guys. Come through the back door. You have to become a citizen to vote. Don't worry about it. We're going to make it easier for you to vote. You need to do a whole bunch of different things to get licensed. Don't worry about it. We're going to give you a license to drive. You can do anything you want with it. Those people do not care about law and order. Their whole purpose is to create chaos. These people are pure agents of chaos. They always say they're doing a good thing, but in the end, we know what happened. In the end, it becomes chaotic and very destructive.
The Constitution says we the people of the United States, not we the taxpayers of the United States, not we the people who just happen to show up here in this country, whether it's legally or illegally, that there are certain criteria, and that is the basic foundation of our republic.
Soto Martinez says don't expect any non-citizen voting to happen in LA anytime soon due to the process it would have to go through, as well as the way his motion is written.
It just says, should we amend the charter to allow the city council to explore this in the future?
That means the proposal has to make it through the council's rules committee, then the full council, and then be approved by voters. And that would only allow the council to discuss allowing non-citizen voting.
I think the details of who's going to be involved, how we're going to do it, all that needs to get sussed out.
If everybody who just shows up.
America, I'm saying, are those people Americans? This is very un-American. As an immigrant, I am looking at this. This is very un-American. For anybody who's a United States citizen asking for non-citizens to vote, that is un-American. Those people do not belong in office. They need to be taken out ASAP. Their ideas and their ideal does not represent the United States. People come in the United States, if they're non-citizens, they should work towards it. There should be some kind of incentives. What is wrong with the people we have in government?
Up here has an equal voice in how this country is run, then we've essentially rendered citizenship meaningless.
Now, non-citizen voting is banned in all federal elections, but voters have approved it to certain degrees in the District of Columbia and a handful of cities scattered across 3 states.
Proposal allowing voting in local elections like city council or the school board.
Non-citizen suffrage or voting actually used to exist in this country prior to 1926.
Angelica Salas is the executive director of CHRLA. She says non-citizen voting already takes place in San Francisco and other states like Vermont and Maryland.
Close to 40% of the city of Los Angeles is composed by immigrants. Not all of them are naturalized citizens that can now cast a vote.
Again, all the states they mentioned, Vermont, Maryland, D.C., obviously district, and California, all blue states, corruption. They don't care about the people within their own country, constituents. They care about people who came in who were not citizens yet.
The majority, in fact, are individuals who are green card holders, refugees, DACA holders, people with temporary protected status.
Climate making many wonder if the timing may not be right for change.
I really haven't made up my mind.
But this proposal obviously still has a long way.
I mean, this should never be on anybody's conscience to make this happen. Zero. My thing is, would you be able to do the same thing in another country? No? Don't do it.
Fairness for longtime residents who contribute to the city by paying taxes but have no electoral voice.
At the end of the day, I think it's plain and simple. If you come in here, you got to wait your turn for everything else. Wait to become a citizen and wait to vote. Everything should be a privilege. If we give it to everyone who comes in there, what's the point? What's the point of that person who is waiting 5 years if they could just vote? Then don't make anybody wait to become citizens. If you could vote right now, why should you have to wait to become a citizen? Everything will be notified. And then, why even have borders? And you see where it's going with the other blue states. They're going to try to keep going and try to get this stuff that is federal. I'm telling you, Democrats never stop. We need to stop those things when we see it ASAP. But let me know what you think inside the comments. All right, motivators, if you enjoy what you seen and heard, please like, comment, share. But most importantly, subscribe to A Black Veteran's Perspective. Stay motivated.